Hey there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Oh, I'm just coming out of my my chemo fog this week. Round 63. 63 rounds of chemo and no end in sight because if you remember, I am a stage 4 terminal cancer person. And this week was especially rough because I just finished up 10 rounds of radiation. And so this chemo was layered on top of radiation, which just really fucked me up. My poor wife, we went grocery shopping and then I'm projectile vomiting in the streets. The crazy thing is, and this is actually what I wanted to chat with you about today. It was a continuation of our conversation about endurance. And you know, now I think about projectile vomiting in the street after grocery shopping, and you just wipe your mouth, and I have a little mouthwash, boom, and we just keep going, right? And what is that? What is that not only makes us endure, but once I get through the situation, it's laugh at the ridiculousness of it, or, you know, be able to continue shitting rainbows, to find a little bit of joy each day, to make sure that I'm just not suffering for the sake of suffering. I was chatting about this with my friends this week, and one of my friends is not able to walk any longer, and she was having a really hard time with getting a motorized wheelchair because she just, I can appreciate not only your ego, but then that you need it, and it's so complex as you can imagine. But she did it. She pulled the trigger, and it changed her life. Like she's actually in less pain because she's not trying to manage a wheelchair that she couldn't manage, or a walker, or like all of these things. And so, you know, how is it that we find that space where hey, we might have to adapt because adaptability is our superpower, right? And find a way to again shit rainbows. And since this week was so hard because I was in bed, it was also hard because my wife's been traveling for the last, 6 months, 9 months since, COVID was over. And so she hasn't seen me sick during chemo, which has been actually kind of nice because she got a mental break from seeing me this sick. And this was the first time she saw me sick again. So it was really emotional for her. And like I said, it was a sledgehammer to the head this time, so it was intense. But it did give me some time to think, and again, wondering, like, what is that source inside of me that makes me dig deep for a little bit of laughter, for a little bit to not just suffer, Like, what is that? And the thing that I was thinking about, though, was my grandmother. Well, actually, both of my grandmothers.
Ooh,
because,
I didn't see that.
hi guys, wait till Halloween. Sorry about that. I had some folks come by, and you know that Halloween is my favorite. So, kind of exactly what we were talking about. I like sitting on my stoop, and the kids come by and the adults come by, and everyone's super into. I went all out this year, my decorations. I'll don't worry, I'm gonna make a video and show you. Anyways, I was thinking about like enduring and not suffering. I thought about what is that influence, and because I want to find it, and I want to hold it like a little marble and rub on it and make it expand and help me now and in the future. And my thing this week was both of my grandmothers, my maternal grandmother and my paternal grandmother. My maternal grandmother, when I was young, lived on a dairy farm, and you talk about endure. This is the thing. I always told her there was no fucking way that I was going to be a woman on a farm because you got the shaft. That poor woman had to get up in the morning. She cooked for her husband and the work hands, cleaned up after them, then joined them in the barn or in the fields and worked with them, made them lunch, made them dinner, cleaned the house, did the laundry. Those fuckers, all they did was work in the barn or in the fields. And yet, like, that was, So this woman, she didn't have a life because on a dairy farm it was 7 days a week, but she found joy in the little things. You know, she taught me the joy of finding I love honey, and she taught me the marvel of finding honeycomb in different areas, and how it talked about the land, because, you know, she was able to find a little bit of joy in every day, and had compassion, and did not succumb to what would have made me a very angry woman, to be honest. I don't know how, like, I think back on it, and I think I would have been pissed. I probably would have murdered my husband in my sleep, because how unfair. And my maternal grandmother, who was a hoot, she was, oh my God, that woman, she was nuts. She was extraordinarily Catholic, and used that as a bludgeon. But we had a great relationship. She called me the spawn of Satan since the day I was born. But my grandmother had neurofibromatosis. And if you don't know what neurofibromatosis is like essentially like elephant man disease. And she had it pretty significantly, which I didn't recognize as something odd or weird, right? Until I got a little bit older, and she lived in a small village in upstate New York. And so, like, when we would go to, let's say, like Long Island, then of course everyone was a jackass, and they would point and say things, and, you know, but she had everyone knew her where she lived for the most part, unless, you know, she went to a different town. But she never took that in and let it make her angry or pissy, or, you know, that woman, as crazy as, oh, my grandma, she laughed a lot. And, you know, she taught me the joy of volunteerism. I think back, like, I love bingo to this day because of she took me all the time to the basement with her you know, old ladies playing bingo, and she volunteered at the thrift store, and she was always part of the community, and she just, no matter if we ran into fucking awful humans that were rude in front of her, they just didn't exist, and she just kept going. And I think about that, and I think that I am so lucky that I had both of those women in my life to teach me to not just endure. That you have to find little scraps of joy every day, or it's just not worth it. Like, what's the point, right? Oh. Yeah, it was very, very cool. I think reflecting this week, and just thinking about the strength that they have given me. Well, my wife's not feeling very well, so I'm gonna head inside and check in on her. I will show you. Okay, just a little bit, little tease. Ah, there it is. Okay, I have new clown this year, and then, you know, there's a scary in the window. You will see all the rest of it when I do my Halloween video. Yeah, see, just sitting out here chatting with people brings a little joy. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming to visit me again. I really appreciate it. You also being here and allowing me to have this time brings me a little bit of joy. So I appreciate it.